Welcome to the Empower El podcast. I'm your host, Vero, and I'm so excited to have you join me on this journey of empowerment and growth. This podcast is designed for ambitious, high-achieving women who are ready to break free from overwhelm and step into their power. Together, we'll explore practical strategies, share inspiring stories, and hear from experts who can help you navigate the challenges of balancing ambition and well-being. Whether you're looking to cultivate confidence, transform your mindset, enhance your leadership skills, or find harmony in your life, this is the place for you. Let's dive in. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Empower Ed podcast. I am so glad that you're here today to learn about something that could shift the way that you lead and live. And if you are looking at us on YouTube, you know that I have a guest today. So I'm really excited. Honestly, I want to let this person tell her story, so I won't say too much, but she is a mama of two, a flower lover, a very resilient, courageous woman, someone who loves to give back to her community, who loves to connect with other women. So Jastine Goguen, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm very humbled by that introduction. All of those things are true and are very valuable in my life.
They are.
I'm super excited to be here. I love the podcast. I love everything that you touched on, and I'm super excited to dive into it today.
Thank you. So as I said, I really just wanted to start off with letting you tell us your story. I know it's a story, like I said at the beginning, of resilience, of courage, of motherhood, of listening to yourself even when it's hard. And so, however, if that takes 5 minutes or 45 minutes, however you want, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Jastine, and I am the founder of La Flower Shop. I am also a mother of two, as Vero mentioned, and I have drastically shifted my life in the past couple of years.
That's an understatement. As you will all find out.
So, within a year, I quit my government job. I pulled my savings. I took my florist course and told no one, actually, that I was doing that. I renovated my home to create my workshop, which I also told no one about. And I took on being a single parent of two because I had decided to additionally leave my relationship. So I was engaged to the father of my children, and I decided that I didn't want that life anymore. I wasn't happy in that relationship anymore. I wasn't fulfilled in the work that I was doing. And that was a really hard truth that I needed to admit to myself. And I knew that if I didn't put myself in a position of not going back, that I would possibly doubt my decision. So I put myself in a place where I had to go all in.
Yeah, you couldn't turn back.
Probably one of the most vulnerable moments for me was actually shifting my wedding venue into introducing my business for the first time. A lot of people still look at me the same when I say that.
I wasn't there, and I feel like that's such a powerful part of your story, and I want you to touch more on it. But I just want us to pause for a second. You quit your job, renovated your house, and left your engagement all in a year. You feel like a lot of people won't even do one of those things, even if it's nagging at them for years and years and years. That's a lot of change in a short period of time.
So have you ever heard the saying, the longer you stay on the wrong train, the longer it takes you to get home?
Yes.
So I was on the wrong train for a long time.
Yeah.
And I really just wanted to get home.
Yeah.
And the event that I presented my business with, which was my wedding venue that I interpreting for introducing La Dara for the first time, that was only really the beginning of the journey to get back home.
Yeah.
It was a monumental moment in my life for sure. And all the decisions that led up to that were extremely difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to shy away from saying that, because as much as people like to say, oh, that was such a powerful move, but it didn't feel powerful at that time. It felt extremely vulnerable. There was a lot of feeling of failure behind me using that night for something other than what it was intended to be. Right? There was a lot of feelings of, I left a relationship that I had committed to staying in. I had, thought about this dream for so long. It was actually something that was on my Pinterest board for 10 years. And cultivating the courage to make that shift was actually extremely hard. I can't say that enough, because people like to look at the glory moment, but it was really hard to do that. And then I think the hardest thing for me about that night was being vulnerable and opening up that night by me taking the mic. That was very much out of my comfort zone. It wasn't something that I had planned on doing. But luckily my team and the people that I had worked with to build up that night had just said, Jastine, it just doesn't make sense to have this night without you telling your story and why you're doing this. And it was really like a mic drop moment for me.
It was. And to be honest, like I said, I was there at that event, and we had just met a couple of months earlier, so we didn't really know each other at that point. I knew a little bit of your story through our mutual friend, and it's interesting to hear you say that, because from my perspective, and I think from the perspective of people that were there, it was a really powerful moment and a really powerful night. And so it's interesting to hear that for you, it felt more like a failure to not use that venue as you had intended to use it, instead of a powerful moment, because that's not how it felt to everyone else. And sorry, go ahead. You absolutely had to take the mic that night. And I didn't know when I was there that you didn't plan on doing that. I found that out not that long ago, actually. I can't remember how. And it just wouldn't have been the same, because I'm sure there were some people in that room that maybe got invited through someone else and maybe didn't know your story and didn't really know what this was and why we were there. And it definitely wouldn't have been the same if you hadn't told your story at that event.
Well, what I was going to say is that that's something that people don't realize. And it was only really at the end of the night, after the whole night had played out, that I was like, wow, why was I so scared? It really took seeing all that magic, all that connection, that huge impact of hearing everyone speak, and the reaction and the emotions felt, and the people crying and laughing, for me to be like, this was the best decision that I ever could have made. It was only after that I felt that. And I think I want to talk about that, because people, even myself, we often look at things and we're like, oh, it's going to be so fun to do that. But actually, you know what? It's really hard to do something new, to do something outside of your comfort zone. And especially when you're doing something that's different. I had never been to a night like that night.
No.
I hadn't seen anything in terms of women empowerment nights where they were bringing people to talk about their life stories in this area. I hadn't seen that. So for me to put this all together was something very different at that time. We're seeing more and more of it now, which is completely amazing, and I love that. But it was difficult to bring something to light that people hadn't been very familiar with. And where people were saying I just don't understand why? Like, why you're doing it? And I'm like, it's so simple. Like, just come and listen. Because I knew like the stories of my speakers.
Yes.
And I'm like, just come and you'll understand.
Yes.
Like,
you'll feel it.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a lot of that. And then taking that and then shifting into running my business was also a big challenge, right? Because even the hype of creating that event, well, then all of a sudden it's like, okay, it's real. Yes. Now I've put this huge staple on my brand and I need to own up to that.
Now you really can't go back.
Yes, exactly.
Like, not only had you already taken all the risks, now people know.
Yeah, so it was a lot about being so vulnerable in that moment really made me reflect on how I wanted to showcase my brand.
Yes.
And the one promise that I made to myself when I made the decision to leave my relationship and leave my job and basically leave my old life behind is that I was going to live a life with as much authenticity as I could. So over the past 2 years, it's been a lot of shedding layers. It's been a lot of letting go. It's been a lot of looking at myself and saying, what am I carrying that no longer serves me? Right? And that is also something that's hard. Like, people look at women in business or, someone who owns their own business or an entrepreneur and they think, oh my gosh, like, you're so lucky, you get to decide all these things and you make your own hours and like you make all the decisions.
Sounds great in theory.
Oh yeah, well, you know what? Like, all of those, like, everything comes at a cost.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So, like, there is so much hardship in that. And it's easy to get swept up in all the highlights.
Yes.
And not reflect on all the work that needs to be done and that continuously needs to be done, right? To keep that going. And I do believe that momentum is a real thing.
Yeah.
Right? So you always need to put yourself in a position to create momentum.
Yes.
Right? So that being said, I think being in business, what I have learned the most is that I was always like this in my personal life or for myself. Like, I'm always someone who liked to evolve. Yeah. So business puts you in a position where it's exposing everywhere that you lack.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately. And you kind of have two choices. You either feel defensive about that because you can't accept your flaws, or you have a hard, honest conversation with yourself and call yourself out on your own bullshit. So for me, in the last quarter of 2025, right after my birthday, I would say, which was on Halloween, I always had like this big self-reflection time.
Yes.
I feel like after my birthday, I'm another year wiser. And I'm trying to reflect on, the past year and what I can implement in the new year and what I've learned from myself and what I can appreciate and what I also still want to change.
Yeah.
And I got to thinking about the areas where I wasn't growing my business. And I really shifted my focus and put my time and energy in places that I hadn't been doing consistently for the entire year of 2025. And in the last quarter of last year, I brought up my net profit by 500%.
Wow.
And sure, wow.
Yeah.
But then I also had to come back to reality and say, okay, well, why was I able to do that now? And why wasn't I doing that last year? Right.
Yeah.
So taking the time to have that honest conversation with myself of, you know what? You were actually holding on to beliefs that you couldn't make time, that those tasks weren't going to be valuable, right? or even how much time does it actually take? We've actually had this conversation before. Like, we think about all these things that we need to do, and we procrastinate, and we're like, oh, like, I don't have time for that. I don't have the energy for that. Well, actually, how much time does it actually take?
It's never as long as you think.
Exactly. And I'll give you an example. So we had the Holiday Hope bouquets that we sold that were delivered to the Ronald McDonald House. That was a cause that was very close to my heart. And we ended up announcing that campaign pretty late in December. And the day before I needed to wrap up all of my orders, I had a call with the Ronald McDonald House, and we actually needed 30 bouquets versus the 20 that we had planned for.
Okay.
So all of a sudden, I have like 10 additional bouquets that I need to sell to make sure that every single family gets a bouquet. So what do? I look at the time. I see that I need to pick up my kids in a couple hours. I'm like, okay, I have a couple hours. I grab my coat. I get into my car. I start going to businesses, knocking on doors, talking to them, selling bouquets. Go pick up my kids, get back home, start messaging business owners that I know or people that I know to get these last 10 bouquets. And that campaign actually only ran for 5 days. So within that 5 days, I achieved that goal. And within not even 12 hours, I topped that goal by 10.
Wow.
By putting in that effort.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And although I was so happy that we hit that target, even with the unexpected increase, it also made me realize, like, okay, I was able to do this within 5 days or within 12 hours and increase this much. Like, why am I not doing that in all the other areas of my business?
Yeah.
Right? So when I started reflecting on that, I was like, well, you know what? I actually put my energy so much towards this cause, and I can put this same energy, this same love that I had for this cause, I can actually put that back into my business. So the hard truth that I had to admit to myself was, well, you're actually not loving to do it for you and your business as much as you loved doing it for a cause.
Yeah. There's actually 2 things I want to touch on here. And the first thing is, like you said, like how you were doing that for a cause. And I feel like it's a pattern that I'm seeing in you, an amazing pattern. So there is like the IWK bouquets, which you can maybe talk a little bit more about what you did there. And even like when you did your event, your first event, I remember, I think all the profits went to, I think it was 2 charities. No, I can't remember what.
That's correct. So,
and I feel like especially then, and this is obviously me looking from the outside, but you were at a spot in your life where you had like blown your whole life apart. And were starting your business, had quit your job. Like, it would have been easy for you to be like, I need the money of whatever profit this event is going to make.
True.
So what in you makes you want to like give back and do all of that for charity?
Yeah, so we did, so throughout, since I've launched Nadara, we've partnered up with, so that the Women of Influence event, we gave the profits to Crossroads for Women and the Heart and Stroke Foundation. And we've re-partnered up with the Heart and Stroke afterwards, and then recently the IWK bouquets were relevant to the IWK in Halifax, because that is the hospital that actually saved my son. And the Ronald McDonald House, to tie into that, is because those are actually the families that are there long term, and that we're definitely going to be there over the holidays. So to get back to your question, I guess, is I think throughout my journey, I felt so many times the hardship of every step. And I wanted to spread light. I wanted to spread joy. I wanted to spread love. And I knew that I could do both.
Yeah.
Like, I knew that I could make the event happen and still give back. And as much as I could have thought about putting the money towards my business.
Which would have been very easy in that position of life to where that everyone would have understood.
Yeah,
right?
100%. And it would have been a smart decision to do that 100%. Like, I'm not going to shy away from saying that. But for me, it was really like all the stories that I kept hearing from people and how heavy people felt and all of that stuff. And I just wanted the event to bring as much impact that I possibly could. And in my head, that was doable. Like, there was no reason why I couldn't do that. There was no reason why I couldn't empower women and give back to charity at the same time. There's no reason why I couldn't introduce my business through my wedding venue. There's no reason why I can't increase my profit by 500% and also give back to a foundation that means the world to me. Like, I can do both. And we can all do both.
We can.
It's just a matter of choice, right? And when I launched my business, I really wanted to stay in line with my values. And I chose to do a lot of things differently in my business. So when I first started selling bouquets, which was actually last February, so we will be celebrating a year of selling flowers next month, it was very different than what people were used to. So people don't actually get to choose their bouquets. I create the bouquets for them, and people were like, well, what do you mean? Like, I don't understand. And I'm like, listen, when I used to buy myself flowers, there were a few things that I did not like. So I did not like that when I went to the flower shop that I needed to make all these decisions, even though I love flowers. I didn't actually know what looked good. No. And then when I, took the time to pick it all out and put it together, and they would wrap it, and then I would get home and I would put it in my vase, and then it didn't look as pretty as it did in the wrapping. And then I was like, well, geez, like, how do I make it look like she looked? Because at the time, like, I wasn't a florist. And I just wanted to take all of that away. So when I decided to open my floral business, I'm like, pardon my language, but I'm taking all of the bullshit out. Essentially. So I want to make it as enjoyable and as easy as possible. So you want flowers? I'm your girl. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to create for you. And the only thing that you need to do is choose which one you want and pick it up. Like, that's it.
Absolutely.
So it saved me a lot of time and a lot of energy. And it also protected my creativity. Like, people don't think about that. But when someone is telling you how to do your art or how to do your craft, it takes away a lot of your identity. So I wanted to protect my artistic side, my creative side, my identity by keeping that to me.
And that's so true. Like, I'm someone who's not very naturally creative. So, like, no, but just in saying, like, I'll see a bouquet and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so pretty. But if I had to walk into a flower shop and they ask me what I want, I'm like, I don't know. Like, you're the expert. Right? Like, why am I making these decisions? And it's never something I had thought of, but it's so true. Versus, like, if you the expert is making it, it's like, I don't care which flowers is in there. You are the one that knows it. I'm just like, wow, it's pretty. I want to bring that home.
And at the end of the day, like, you're paying for the expertise. Like, you're paying for my expertise, right? Like, not just the flowers.
No, exactly.
So you need to, trust me enough to know that I've treated the flowers properly, that I've put them together properly, that I've tied them so that when you get home, all you need to do is trim your stems and put them in water, and they're going to stay perfectly pretty, just as how you bought them from me, right? Like, that was the goal.
And they do.
Thank you.
So.
Your husband has bought some.
I should say. I will not take the credit. I'm the one who told him about you and, like, told him that it existed and he should go get, but I'm not the one.
He's very sweet. He's like, I still remember, like, when he messaged me, he's like, I'm so busy, but can you hook me up?
No, he will not be the one ordering in advance. That's for sure.
So essentially, to get back into work and everything like that, I just wanted to bring my values. I wanted to keep my values not only for myself, but into my business, because I felt like, for me, like, that was one in one. Like, I can't be one person in my business and a different person, like, in real life. You know what I mean? I want to be the same across. So I really focused on building my brand to reflect the values that I have, so that I wouldn't need to feel like I was someone different when I was at work.
No. And your brand is you. Like, that's something I believe so much. Like, we are one person.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, yes, depending on what you do for work, maybe there's, like, you have to adapt, but you should still be able to be yourself wherever you are. There's one other thing that you mentioned that I actually want to touch on, and I feel like maybe this is something that's easy for you. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm totally wrong, because you kind of just brushed over it. But you said that when you only had a couple of hours left, you hopped in your car and you drove around and you knocked on doors. And from an outside perspective, it seems like you're someone who's able to go speak to people and kind of go get what you need and knock on the doors. And I know for me, and I'm sure a lot of people, it's something that's really difficult for me. I'm like, I want people to come to me. Like, I don't want to go out and sell or ask people, even if you know that it's for a good cause and you're helping them or whatever. So just talk to me about that. Like, is it something that's easy for you? Do you just do it? Like, well, hello there. Yes, this is an ad inside my own podcast. And listen, if I'm interrupting your day, it's because what I'm about to tell you is actually important. If you're listening to this show, I already know something about you. You're a high-achieving woman who does everything and somehow keeps it together. I mean, at least on the outside. But underneath, every single task feels like climbing a mountain. Your brain is juggling 47 tabs. You have forgotten what dreaming feels like because you're too busy putting out fires. And honestly, at this point, you probably deserve honorary firefighter status. And here's the thing. This isn't a personality flaw. It's overwhelm. And waiting for life to slow down so you can feel like yourself again. Yeah, that plan has a 0% success rate. Ask me how I know. So let me offer you a different reality. What if you could move through your week without rushing? What if you actually had energy left, like real usable energy for your dreams? What if your life felt like it had space again? What if you could breathe deeper, move slower, accomplish more, and actually trust yourself? Well, you can. And that's exactly what I help you do inside Overwhelmed to Organized, where you will learn how to master your time and your energy. So the doors will be open from January 20th to 31st, and the spots are limited because I really want to support you closely. So if your soul just whispered, yes, if you felt that tiny flicker of hope that says, maybe life doesn't have to feel like this, then send me a message to get on the wait list or to jump in as soon as the doors open. I would love to have you inside and watch you breathe again and dream again and truly transform. All right, back to the episode. You are going to love this one.
So, I mean, I love talking to people.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong, like I do. But I think for me, it's a very big distinction of, do I want to do this as a hobby or do I want to do this as a living? So when I risked everything that I did to pursue my business and the dream that I had on a shelf for 10 years, I really needed to start asking myself, what is it that you're not willing to do? And if you're not willing to do that, are you honoring your dream? Right? And I ask this question to myself very often. Are you able to look at your kids every day and tell them that you didn't put your 100% into pursuing your dream? And the answer is always no.
Yeah.
Right? I remind myself of that all the time. When I don't feel like it, I remind myself of that all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't feel like going out and knocking on doors, but I believed in what I was doing, and I believed in the goal, and that small sacrifice of me going, hey, this is what we're doing.
Are you in?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Is a very minute piece.
It is.
If you really think
it
about
absolutely
it.
is.
Because that fear of being like, oh, like I don't want to put myself in that position, that is all in your head.
I know.
Even though like I did it, you and I both have the capacity of doing it.
Absolutely.
Right? And the only difference between someone who scares themselves out of it or the person that does it is the person that does it took action and you didn't.
Yeah.
You're still sitting on your couch thinking, well, what's going to happen if I do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, j'ai des frissons.
But I think it's Will Smith has this quote and I love it. And he said, all the most beautiful things in life are on the other side of fear.
They are. They are.
And I've witnessed that in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I've witnessed it when I did the event.
Yeah.
I witnessed it when I quit my job.
Yeah.
I witnessed it when I left the relationship that was no longer fulfilling me.
Yeah.
Like, those were all things that were terrifying.
Absolutely.
But how do I feel now? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, I completely shifted my life.
Yeah.
I feel completely different.
Yeah.
Right? If I would have stayed in that fear,
mm-hmm.
I wouldn't feel like I feel now.
No.
I wouldn't have accomplished the things that I have accomplished.
You
now.
would still be where you were back then.
Exactly.
And feeling even worse, probably.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
So I think about that statement a lot.
Yeah.
And I think one of my biggest strengths is that I don't let fear control me.
Yeah.
I have many challenges in my life, as much as people are like, oh, like, this is going so well, or you're doing so good at this, or like, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know what? Like, there are a lot of pieces of my life, just like everybody else, that are hard.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Single parenting is hard. Running my own business is hard. And being courageous in believing the end goal of what you're doing is also hard.
Yeah, yeah. But I also truly believe, and I'm sure you've heard this quote too, is like, choose your hard.
Yes.
Right?
100%.
Because staying in the life you were in would have been hard.
Yes.
Making all those changes and doing what you're doing now is also hard.
Mm-hmm.
But one hard will actually fulfill you, and there's going to be happiness and will get you to where you want. And one hard won't.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that I want to circle back to, what does it take to put yourself into that position? And, we're in that time now where it's a lot about like new year, new me.
Yeah.
And, I want to implement like all of these new things in my life to like shift. And for me, what I've realized over the past few years, it's not about what can I implement. It's about what can I let go of. What are the bad habits that I'm still keeping that I need to let go of? What are the relationships that are no longer serving me? Where am I putting my energy that's not bringing value to my life? Like, constantly asking myself those questions, because when you are in a place where you want to evolve in life, every time that you get to that next step, it will require you to let go of something to invite in something new.
Absolutely.
And I think that we get stuck in like that plateau where like we have this honest conversation with ourselves and we're like, okay, like I am going to call myself out on my own bullshit, like I'm going to let go of this. I'm going to steer myself in this direction. And then we do that and then we think that we're good. But no, we have to continue asking ourselves that question like repeatedly all the time, because every time you attain a new level, you need to re-ask yourself that question. Right? That's the only, like, you don't have a choice to let go of the old to bring in the new.
Yes, yeah. And we're always all about bringing the new, like you said, and implementing new things and adding and adding and adding. But you do have to let go of some things in order to add the beautiful things that you want to bring in. Yeah,
and I think, like, a lot of people talk about balance.
Yeah.
Well, for me, balance is, like, you can't just keep adding.
No.
Like, people don't... And I've done this myself where, like, I don't actually take the time of sitting back and being like, okay, if I want all of these new things, I need to let go of the same amount.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's the harsh reality.
It is.
And that's hard. Like, it's
Yeah,
hard.
yeah.
It's hard to do new, but it's hard to let go too, right?
It is.
Because it's
even harder.
Yeah. But, like, you don't have a choice when you want to evolve. Like, that's the hard truth that I want to talk about, is you don't have a choice. You need to let go of the fears, the self-doubt, like all of the things that are holding you back, like all of the excuses that you tell yourself, the procrastination, you know, other people's opinions, like all of those things. Like, you need to let go of what is no longer serving you if you fully want to step into your potential. Like, that's it. It's that simple. And we overcomplicate it so much. We're like, oh my God, well, I can only do this if I have this and this and this and this and this. Well, no, like, all you need to think about right now is how you're going to move the needle. What do you do? What do you need to do right now to move the needle a little bit?
And I love that you said that, how it's so simple. And I think, like, there's a difference between simple and easy. Like, it is simple. It's not easy to actually do it. But when you look at what actually needs to be done, it is simple. It is simple. The difficult is doing it.
Yeah, 100%. And it's the same concept. Like, I'll put this in a metaphor, like, as going to the gym, right?
Yes.
When you go to the gym and you work out, it hurts. But do you stop working out because it hurts? No.
And that's how you know.
You know the end goal, right? You know that you're going to feel better at the end of your workout. You know that you're going to get in better shape if you continue being consistent with your workouts. Like, you know the end goal. So you're actually able to
almost enjoy that pain.
Exactly. Like, you put yourself in a position where you're like, the pain is worth it. Well, you also need to do that in your life and with your business too. Like, you need to be able to think about the end goal and realize that the pain that you're feeling is normal. And normalizing that, like, and being like, I'm doing it right. Because it's shaking me up right now. It's making me feel uncomfortable right now. It's making me feel scared right now. Well, you know what? You're doing something right. Because if you did not feel those things, you are not moving enough.
I totally agree. And it's about finding a way to being comfortable in the uncomfortable. And actually not being like, oh my gosh, I'm starting to feel this way, so I'm going to stop and shy away from it. It's actually inviting in that feeling and reflecting on that feeling and being able to find ways to move forward even when the feeling's there. It's not about trying to get rid of that feeling. You're probably not going to get rid of the fears and the uncomfortableness. The more you do it, they're not going to be as loud, I think. And you'll get to new fears. Like, that's just how it is when you grow. But I think it's not trying to get rid of that. It's how do I move with that?
100%. It's like you're actually putting in the reps. Right? And I think the thing for me that felt heavy was carrying the mistakes of my past in my back pocket.
Oh gosh, yes.
Okay? And that is something that feels so heavy. And we actually don't realize, if we don't let those things go, like, what a huge impact it actually has on our day-to-day life. And you know, just said something that I just posted about recently, and it's about, like, embracing our mistakes. You know, it doesn't define you to have made mistakes in the past.
No.
You just put yourself in a position to actually try, actually fail, and actually learn from your mistakes. You're growing. And that's where people get, or even myself, I've seen myself, like, get caught up in, oh, well, I did this wrong, and I did this wrong, and I did this wrong, and, like, I'm kind of discouraged now, and, like, how am I going to get over that? But you know what? Okay, I did it wrong, but how can I do it right? Like, not clinging onto that, right? Like, not clinging onto your failures, I think, is a super hard shift as well, right? It's like when I talked about my event, it was like I was clinging on to the fact that I felt like I had failed that relationship and that commitment that I made, right? But really, I didn't fail.
No.
I just readjusted.
And
I actually won into something way bigger, right? So it's all about that perception of shifting your thoughts and, like, not clinging to all the things that you think are all of those things are preventing you from growing. You know what I mean? Like, clinging on to all your mistakes. Like, that's the hugest thing that you do that prevents you from growing. And like, we're all guilty of that, like being way too hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I want to implement, actually add more of this year, is like giving myself more grace.
Yeah.
Right? Like giving myself more grace to grow, to fail, to fumble. Like that's the only way to actually get through.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I relate to that so, like, more than you even know. So much. I think, first of all, like, the only people who never fail are people who don't try.
100%.
So I think when we do something that we feel is a failure, it's like reminding ourselves that, okay, that means I'm trying and I'm moving forward. And I used to be someone who was so scared of failing and would never admit my mistakes. I grew up as a perfectionist and I prided myself on being a perfectionist. Now I'm like, I want nothing to do with that word. Right? Like, I feel, because first of all, it's unattainable. It's not even something that we should try to strive for. But that's how I grew up, was like everything needed to be perfect. And I remember my first like actual real adult job after university, I had made a mistake in an audit that I was doing, and I like tried to hide it. Like, I was so scared. And like, you can't hide that stuff, obviously. So like, when the person that was reviewing my file noticed it, and they were like, why didn't you just like say something? Like, I was mortified. And now I'm the first person to be like, hey, I screwed up here, so let's see how we can fix it.
Yeah, I need help.
Yeah.
So point me in the right direction.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's another thing too. Like, we tend to shy away. Like, for me, like, I'm someone who's like super resilient and very self-sufficient, so like asking for help was not like a big thing that I did. But when I started implementing like these bigger goals for myself, that reality of like, this is not something that I can do alone, hit me very hard. And I'm like, okay, that's okay, I'm gonna find the right people that believe in what I'm doing. And that was very key for me, is surrounding myself with people that believed in my vision. Even though they didn't fully understand where I was going, they were like, you know what? I believe in you, I support you, and I'm going to be there. And that like was so very powerful for me. And I talked about that in the beginning, like that whole transition of my first year. Like, I told no one what I was doing. And at first, I told myself, like, I didn't want any noise in my head. I didn't want any other perception other than mine to influence my decision. But looking at it now, I think that I was actually scared that someone would influence my decision. Like, there was a fear there that I didn't want to admit to myself.
It's like you didn't have the belief strong enough yet to be able to let other people in.
Yes. Yeah. And like, even just like having that reflection of, you know what, I was actually scared. That's actually why I didn't tell my parents why I was renovating my house, and they were wondering why I wasn't going back to work and what I was doing with my life. Is I actually, you know what, I didn't want anybody's opinion because I was terrified that it would shy me away from my dream. And I think that like, many people can relate to that and feel that. And we hesitate on those feelings of fear. And honestly, it's always going to be present.
It will.
You just need the ability to be able to embrace it. And your belief, like you mentioned, because my belief is through the roof, I feel like at this point. I think that it's something that's very core for me, and that way it carries me through consistently. Even when I have someone that's like, well, no one's ever done that before. Well, exactly. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, there's been so many times where people have said things to me about what I wanted to do, and that they couldn't see it. And I'm like, it's okay. Like, you don't need to see
exactly.
it. Like,
I see
exactly. You know what I mean? And like, let me show you. You know what I mean? Just keep following along and let me show you what the magic that I'm trying to bring to life here, right? And I'm very lucky to be a mother, and I think that my kids are a constant reminder of that, right? Like, when they talk to me about all the things that light them up, like all the simplistic things, like the first snow, and you know, like cuddling in bed at night, and like all the things that they are so in awe of, it puts me in a position to constantly relive like that magic of life. Like having children for me has been like witnessing life all over again through like the purest souls, right? Because when we get into our adulthood, like we get to a point like where we're so masked, right? Like over time, 100%, like over time, like society, other people, relationships, like all of the things, like you know, we keep, like I talked a lot about shedding layers. Well, we keep adding like, you know, another defense wall and another defense wall and another defense wall, because we learn over time that it's not safe to be completely ourselves and to be authentic and to really own that and to not care about other people's opinions and to stay true to ourselves and not let ourselves be influenced by other people. Like we learn that over time. And then when, like, the position that I am right now, like, for the past few years, it's like, I'm unlearning that, you know, I'm taking that away from my life. And that feels so good. That's, for me, I think that's why I am able to give back. It's because I actually put myself in a position where I loved myself enough to look at myself in the mirror and go, you know what? You need to let all of this shit go. Right? And once I did that, I felt this huge shift. I felt way more like myself. I stood differently. I spoke differently. Like, I addressed people differently. Like, I consider myself someone that's pretty much always been, like, a fairly confident person. But when I let go of all the things that were not serving me, like, my attitude went through the roof. Like, you know, in a completely different way, in a humbling way, in a way that I'm like, I'm showing up as me, and this feels really good, and the people that want to love me as me are welcomed, and the people that don't are not my people. No. And I'm okay with that.
And it's not about changing who you are, it's actually about coming back to who you are.
Exactly. 100%. And I think, like, that's what my kids remind me of the most, right? Because the kids are so pure. Like, there's nothing that has shifted that for them, right? Like, they act how they are all the time. They say what they're thinking, what they're feeling, like, unapologetically all the time, right? Like, I'll ask my son to do something, and he's like, no, thank you. And he feels no shame and no guilt. And he was very polite about it, but he just said no, thank you to going to pick up his toys because that's what he wanted to say. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just like that purity is like something that I wanted to get back, right? And I think that's what helps me be in a position to give back to other people, because if you can't learn to love yourself first, you are not in a position to receive love, right? So when I do things, you know, for charities or for other people, like, I'm also getting a whole lot back. Right? Because I am now in a position where, like, I've opened myself up in that vulnerability space. Like, people don't understand with vulnerability, it's always an exchange. Right? Like, so when you don't want to be vulnerable, people don't want to be vulnerable with you. So the reason why people feel welcome to be vulnerable is because you showed that. Right? So I always had, like, a very complex relationship with vulnerability. It's one that I've really embraced over the past few years, and it's opened me up in such a different way. Like, it's welcomed so many new relationships to my life. Like, I think that's probably one of the biggest things that I've worked on in the past few years, is really choosing to be vulnerable, choosing to be intentional, choosing to be authentic, and really believing in not only what I'm doing, but who I am and who I'm still becoming.
That's so beautiful. The last thing that I would like to touch on is, what would you tell a woman who's in a similar situation that you were in a few years ago, maybe, who's contemplating either leaving a job, starting a business, leaving a relationship, any, like, big life decision that seems really scary, and they're kind of unsure, and there's obviously fear there and limiting beliefs, and now that you're kind of on the other side of that, what would you tell them?
I would tell them exactly what I talked about earlier, is how long do you want to stay on the wrong train? Because the longer you stay on that train,
Yeah.
the harder it is
Yeah.
going to be to get home.
Yeah.
And you always want to be home. You always
Yeah.
want to feel at home.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And home's really a feeling.
Yeah, 100%. And I just think that you always have the choice of, I'm going to do another analogy, but like feeding the wolf of your choice, right? Like you have the white wolf and you have the black wolf, and like which one wins? Well, whichever one you feed.
Yes.
Right? So your white wolf is like all of your dreams and your aspirations and all of your potential and all the things that you could become in life. And the black wolf is like all of your doubts and all your fear and other people's opinions and all the reasons that you keep telling yourself that are holding you back. Well, which one are you going to let survive? The one that you feed.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of choice. That's it. It's that simple. It's a matter of choice. Whatever that you are continuously choosing to allow and keep in your life is costing you everything that you want.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right? So if you're constantly choosing like all the wrong things for yourself, well, that cost is that you're not giving all the things that you do want a chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, again, people talk about balance. Well, life is a scale of balance.
Yeah.
Every time that you want something, you need to balance it out with something else. There's always a cost.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Before I ask you my closing question, is there anything else that we haven't touched on that you wanted to share?
I'm really excited for 2026.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for all the campaigns that we have lined up for flowers, but not only for flowers, for women empowerment as well. So I completely shifted how I'm going to be proceeding with every occasion that I have coming up. I'm super excited about that. I'm really stepping into speaking a lot more and connecting with my community a lot more. Giving back still is on the board, and also continuing to help other women in business. So that's a big goal that I have this year, is collaborating with the right women to put some exposure on their brands as well. So that is always something that I've been passionate about. Like from day one, I still remember like speaking to a woman in business that I admire, and I was just starting, and I told her, I was like, like I really love flowers and I really love empowering women, and I'm like, I know that these are two different things, but like I just somehow like want to make it work. And she said this to me, and I will never forget. She said, Jastine, you are absolutely capable of doing that. You have all the right pillars to be able to accomplish that. But she said, I just want to reword something that you said. She said, you are not trying to only start a business or start a new life for yourself, but you are actually trying to create a movement. And she said, I want you to think about that. And that stuck with me a lot. She was right.
She was. You are.
And I didn't even know it. Yeah, I didn't even know it yet, but she was right. That's what that's really what I was chasing. You know? Like, I get comments all the time. People are like, oh, like, I talk about ideas and stuff that I'm doing with, that I'm implementing in my business. And just recently I had someone say, well, my God, like, it's like you're trying to change the world. Right?
You're like, yeah.
And I started laughing. And I'm like, well, if we're not intentionally doing that, why are we here? You know what I mean? Like, there is so much negativity in this world. Like, if I can do something to make someone feel a little bit lighter, why wouldn't I?
Absolutely.
Like, it just makes sense to me. You know what I mean? And it doesn't have to make sense to others. As
No,
long
it
as
doesn't.
it makes sense to you.
Yes.
That's what matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're so incredible.
Thank you.
My last question to all my guests is, what is your superpower?
Oh, gosh.
I didn't prepare you for this.
No, not at all.
That's the best part.
Yeah, I think that in any given circumstance, I have the ability to see the beauty. Always. And I think that keeps me thriving all the time. I always have the ability to see the beauty in someone, the beauty in a situation, the beauty in an obstacle.
The beauty in flowers.
Yeah, for sure. But even the imperfect flowers, right? Like, and I think that is truly my superpower, because that keeps me believing.
That's amazing. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
If anyone wants to follow you or connect with you, where can they find you?
Yes, so you can find La Darab on Instagram at ladarab.flowershop. We are also on Facebook, and then my personal account, I just changed it actually to Jastine Blooms because I plan on blooming very much this
I haven't even noticed yet.
yeah, so you can find us there. But through the our website is also www.nadarab.ca. We are in the midst of finalizing the construction of our website, but we have a lot of new series and collections to be announced. So all the events, all the new palettes, everything will be featured through our social media platforms.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And to all of you, I want to tell you to keep chasing your dreams, just like Jastine has told us through this whole interview. And have an amazing day. And we will see you in the next episode. Bye, everyone.
Thank you for tuning into the Empower Elle podcast. I hope today's episode inspired you and gave you practical insights to help you navigate your journey as an ambitious, high-achieving woman. Remember, every step you take towards building your confidence and embracing your full potential is a step closer to creating the life you truly desire. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on your favorite platform. Your support helps us reach more women who are ready to step into their power and live their best lives. Don't forget to join our community on social media for more resources, tips, and inspiration. Until next time, lead with power and live with wellness. You are unstoppable.